Today, more than 100 million people all over the world have gained title to the land on which they depend, thanks to Landesa. The problem Landesa tackles is enormous. 1 billion lack this essential right. When women in particular gain title to land, benefits abound. Farm yields increase, child welfare improves, domestic violence goes down. Tim Hanstad, who leads Landesa, knows something about property rights and women. He grew up in a one-bathroom house with 7 sisters and 1 brother. A wonderful laboratory, he now says, for learning how to collaborate, respect women, and manage expectations. Roy Prosterman, Tim's law school professor and mentor, and Landesa's founder, was the one who showed Tim that with persistence, focus, and the leveraged power of law, it is possible to make seismic shifts in society. We applaud Tim Hanstad's dedication and transformative hand at Landesa's helm, and we are proud to extend to him the 2012 Skoll Award for Social Entrepreneurship.
Whew. Well, thank you, Jeff and Sally. We are so grateful for this award. What an inspiring week, huh? You know, and it's weeks like these that I think history can begin to turn. Why? Because I know we're all dissatisfied with the status quo. Dissatisfied living in a world where more than 1 billion people continue to languish in extreme poverty. And at Landesa, we know it doesn't have to be that way. We've seen it. In fact, solutions are under our feet. Landesa has worked in 45 countries, partnering with governments on reforms that have given secure land rights to more than 110 million families. Farmers who can then pull themselves out of poverty with the power of land ownership. Let me introduce you to one of them, whom I recently met. Pranu is a young, widowed mother living in rural Andhra Pradesh in India. 5 years ago, Pranu and her children were mired in poverty, lacking hope and a future. Like most of the world's poorest, Pranu shared 3 traits. She lived in a village. She relied on land for her livelihood. Yet Pranu and her family did not own any land. Without land, they lacked reliable access to food, to income, to credit, to school, to government programs. The coins they earned each day as farm laborers, working on someone else's land, were rarely enough to buy a day's worth of nutritious meals. Pranu was stuck in a structural problem. You know, Landesa was founded at a law school, and many of us are lawyers. Please don't hold that against us. I know it's not the most popular profession. But lawyers like to address structural problems, and structural problems deserve structural solutions. Landesa was invited by Pranu's government to design laws and a land program. And remember, we're lawyers. We're not afraid of long meetings or client engagements. That land program helped Pranu and thousands of other poor women buy land, and history began to turn. After obtaining nearly an acre of land of her own on which she grows rice and vegetables, Pranu, for the first time, consistently ate 3 meals per day. She took her children out of the fields and into the classroom. She started saving and investing in a better future, and most importantly, Pranu told me, she achieved dignity, confidence, and a voice in her community. Landesa was founded on a radical but simple idea that governments are sometimes willing but typically lack a practical roadmap on how to help their landless Pranus obtain land rights and escape poverty. 110 million families, it's good progress, but there's so much more to be done. As Sally said, more than 1 billion poor people today toil on land they don't own, most of them women and girls. And yet today, I've never been more optimistic. I'm optimistic because solutions exist. I'm optimistic because funders like Skoll and so many in this room are ready to tackle the root causes of big problems. I'm optimistic because, as we saw in this fabulous film earlier, social entrepreneurs are increasingly using the leverage tools of law and policy. And I'm optimistic because governments are more willing to seek land policy solutions that stick. This is the key window of opportunity for all of us. And with this award, we're going to make the most of this moment and replicate Pranu's story on an even larger scale. Thank you.